In this video, I'm going to explain how to add formulas to the monthly cash flow spreadsheet. So in Schoology, you have the directions here for the monthly cash flow, and in them, I actually walk you step by step. So the first thing we're going to do is calculate the total income. So when we do that, you notice that we have the income section, and we want to calculate the total here. So you want to go to box B5. So remember, you use the letter at the top and the row number at the left, and that's where you find B5. And then we're going to use a sum function that comes with Google Sheets. So to use that, you go to the Insert menu, and then you go down to Function, and because it's one of the most commonly used ones, it's listed at the top, and we want to select Sum. Now that we've selected the sum, we need to select the cells that we want to add up. To do this, you don't even have to type in the reference numbers. Google Sheets will do it for you. So click on the first cell, holding your mouse button down, drag it down to the cells that you want in there, and then you press your Enter key. Now notice, if I go in here under Other Income now, and let's say I got $100 more, look at the total income here, and you will notice that it automatically recalculates. Another issue, or not another issue, but an issue that happens sometimes when people are adding formulas. Okay, I'm going to go back and insert function sum, is that sometimes people will actually highlight the cell the formula's in. And when you do that, it causes a reference area. So be very careful when you are doing your sum that you only select the cells that you want added up. Okay, so calculating total fixed, variable, and non-monthly expenses is the same process. You click on the cell that you want the sum to appear in, and for total fixed expenses, it's B16. Insert function sum. Make sure you highlight all of the cells that fall under fixed expenses. Hit Enter. Do the same for total variable expenses. Insert function sum. Now make sure, I've had some students in the past highlight this whole column. You only want to include the variable expenses. So where the variable expenses title is, you want to go to the item listed right below the title, highlight everything, hit Enter. And then the non-monthly expenses, we're going to add the sum function there. Okay, so with the non-monthly expenses, this is a monthly cash flow. You have to remember the non-monthly is listed based on a year. So we need to do a calculation for that. So in the directions, calculate total non-monthly, we have to break that total down by months. So in Google Sheets, when you type in the equal sign, it indicates to Google Sheets that you are entering an equation that needs to be calculated. So what you can do is, once again, you don't have to type the reference. You don't want to type 12,000 divided by 12. Because then if any of these change later on, this non-monthly per month is not going to automatically change. So watch, if I do 12,000 divided by 12, then let's say I go up here under Other and add another 5,000. Now if you notice, the total non-monthly changed per year, but the expenses per month did not. Okay, so I'm going to delete, and let's do it the correct way. So you would type equals. I want to take this total on the non-monthly expenses per year. Notice it puts an E18 to reference that box and divide it by 12. So now if I go back up here and put 5,000 in, you will notice both the per year total and the per month total changes. Okay, so expenses, total expenses. So total expenses, this is a combination of all of the expenses. So you're including fixed, variable, and non-monthly expenses per year. So once again, you're going to do the equal sign. We want to add the total fixed expenses, so I click on that cell to put the reference number in there. Make sure you hit the plus sign because you're adding them. And since they're not in a row, that's why I'm not using the sum function. So now that I hit the plus sign, I want to add the total variable expenses plus. Now be very careful with this. A lot of people will automatically hit the box that 12,000 appears in, but remember, we're calculating based on a month, not a year. So we need to add cell E20 because that's where we took and we calculated the monthly amount. Hit enter and we have that amount there. Now to figure out the monthly cash flow, that is the difference between total income and total expenses. So we would do equal. We want total income to be the biggest number, so we're going to take that and we're going to subtract the total expenses that we just calculated and hit enter. And in this case, the monthly cash flow is $110, which is positive. So for example, let's say our loan payment was actually $400. Watch what this does to the monthly cash flow. It puts us in the whole $90. So you can also see when when your monthly expenditure is greater than your income. And that's it for how you put in the formulas for the monthly cash flow.